Welcome to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Wednesday. I do mean Wednesday. The weather's supposed to change Thursday. I know we've been off a couple weeks. I'm with my man Big E and my man Big RT. How y'all doing this evening, fellas?
Good. How you doing, E?
Doing good. Doing really good. School is starting to kick my butt, but, we'll be all right, though.
Well, it's good to have you guys in the house tonight, and I know Wednesday night's the Lord's night, too, but, hey, we get to do
every night.
Every night. You're exactly right, RT. I'm not keeping it 100 on that. Nah. But it's good to have you guys here tonight, though, so we can do a show, man. We got a lot of things going on. We'll have a special guest, Carl Albert's coach himself, Mr. Richey, man. You're going to talk about what he got going with the Lady Titans. And I just tell you right now, man, they're doing some big things, some real big things over at Carl Albert. So we'll have him on in a few minutes. But we're also going to talk about what happened last week in the dual states, who took home a little trophy and who went home sad and blue. But I still got to give a little bit of love to the Carl Albert Titans. They ain't been there since, 2009?
I believe so.
And, they made it. They had the number one seed, Collinsville, which is a powerhouse in 5A wrestling. And anybody that knows anything about wrestling, Collinsville is the real deal, returning 8 state championship out of 13 weights. It's going to be hard for anybody to knock them off, and they'll be shooting for another state championship this year in 5A. But Carl Albert is on the right path because, like I said, out of 10 kids that have 10 kids returning next year into the starting lineup. Is that what they got?
They're only losing one senior.
One senior. Hey, senior night was just one lonely young man by himself, but hey, that's okay. But he's done his time at Carl Albert. But folks, like I said, we're gonna have a special show, talk a little bit of wrestling, talk a bit of little high school basketball as the playoff starts ramping up, and we're gonna talk about that scholarship, folks. We need to get you guys out there and get on board. We only got a couple weeks away before we be giving it away. Yep. We got the money just sitting here in my pocket, itching and burning, and I'm ready to give it to a young man or female. Young athlete that deserves that scholarship, man. We've been putting it out there, and once again, we want to thank Eric Sanford and Brad Collier and Chris Collier for clutch culture training and helping donate this money. And like I said, we also had some couple silent donors too. So I'd like to thank everybody that's helped out. And it's something that we're not going to just do one time because ask any of our competitors, are they doing that? Because that's what we do. We keep it what?
100.
100. That's what I like. Well, fellas, what else been going on before we get to this Mr. Richey? Carl Alberts.
Man, you had the Super Bowl this past Sunday.
Super Bowl was great.
Man.
I heard people griping about the halftime show. Man, if anybody griped about the halftime show, they don't know nothing about no good hip-hop. And that's old school hip-hop with a little Snoop, Dr. Dre.
Hey, I loved it. You know what? For a minute, I thought you was 50 Cent hanging upside down.
Oh, somebody else sent that to me. You know what? I wish I looked at like 50 like that, because I'm telling you right now, if I had any 50 money, we wouldn't be sitting in this hot box. We'd be sitting in a nicer studio podcast show. But, hey, I like to give it up to Mary J. My wife is a big Mary J. She's already sent me a deal what she wants for her birthday. Mary J is playing, I think, in Miami, and she wants to get tickets and spend a weekend watching Mary J. I'm telling you, I can't be mad at Mary J because anytime we've taken a long road trip, we listen to Mary J over and over and over and over and over.
Mary J.
Yeah, because she keeps us rolling on the highway. So thank you, Mary J. I know you don't know who I am, but thank you anyway because you do a great job in our car when we are rolling on trips. What else been going on, RT? I know your boy wrestled, in dual state, and he's getting ready for regionals this weekend. Yeah. So, what's his chances? You thinking that him getting a chance to get on that podium this year?
I think everybody has a chance. Wrestling is one of those sports that's so unique that it's not about your teammates or your coaches. Once you on that mat, it's one-on-one, and as you know, you've seen many state champions get out of position
and get beat.
So it's open to anybody who wants it. Just got to go out there and get it, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Hey, wrestling's been I got to say, all sports this year has been pretty good, man. Like I said, we'll get into basketball, but, real quick shout out to UCO as they get ready to go after their regionals. My son finished his red shirt freshman year at 21-3, losing to 3 Oklahoma State wrestlers, which is not a bad gig from a young man that's redshirted this year and wrestled the weight up. I do see him in the starting lineup next year, either at 149 or 157. He's looking good. They're going to have a good team for the next few years. So congratulations, Coach Stiley and his crew and what they're doing, and good luck to them as they get ready for regionals. And hopefully they can get all 10 weights in the championship, over in nationals. So that'd be a big thing for them. Oklahoma State right now, ever since Anthony Ferrari is falling off a little bit. Oklahoma State, he got hurt. So shout out to him. Hopefully he can get back healthy. He's not going to wrestle this year. John Smith came out the other day and said he will not wrestle the rest of the year. Since he's been out of the lineup, they've lost 4 in a row. Hopefully they can get that back, man, because I know Oklahoma State's a big-time, wrestling program in Oklahoma. I will put Oklahoma State first. I will put UCO second. Then I will put OU, then OCU. So that's how I rank the wrestling here in college here in Oklahoma. But like you said, Super Bowl was a great Super Bowl. Both quarterbacks played a good game. Burrows is a young man from LSU. All he's done so far is win, get hurt. He's taken the Bengals that won 4 games last year and taken them to the Super Bowl. I think they got one of the best receivers in the nation in NFL with Chase. I think they're going to just keep getting better and better. I know P-Ron and Nixon came up short, but I don't think that team is out of it. I think you'll see the Bengals back. I think they have a good chance. But a good shout out to the LA Rams. I have to give it to Odell. He got hurt, but he gets the Super Bowl ring. I don't know why Baker Mayfield couldn't get the ball to him like Stanford did, but I tell you, it sucks to him getting hurt because he was having a hell of a game.
Right.
But I want to say give it to the defensive lineman. What's his name?
Aaron Donald. Yep.
Aaron Donald. I have to say because most people hide behind this. He said, yes, we did have a superstar team, and most people wouldn't say that because you're seeing a lot in the NBA. A lot of these teams are doing it. They did do it, but you know what? I give it to him, man. I was really impressed with the Rams coach, man, after the game, man. He looked like some kind of arrogant guy, but, man, he was really, really about his team. And sometimes you can't judge the book by its cover. Mm-hmm. And I just tell you, man, I just love the way he gave him praise to all his players and coaches. It wasn't just about him. It was about the whole team. And they won as a team, though. It was a hell of a Super Bowl, man. Usually I take a nap between the game and wake up and catch the end. I watched the whole game, so great job on that, though. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring Coach Richey and let him talk about them Carl Albert Lady Titans and what he's doing with them, man. They got a big game this Friday night against Dell City. They'll close out the regular season and get ready for aerial and regional, then state. Yeah. So we'll be right back. What?
After one of these sponsors.
We'll be right back. Keeping it 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this, like I said, on this Wednesday evening. We have a special guest tonight, Coach Richey from the Carl Albert Titans, the ladies head coach that's doing a fabulous job with these ladies Titans as he gets ready for regionals and area and try to win that state championship for them Carl Albert Titans. Welcome to the show, Coach. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Man, Coach, it's a pleasure to have you on, man. I know the Titans they're always winners, man, and you end up being, growing up as a Titan, going all the way from, from middle school to high school. Now you're back coaching, at your alma mater. That's a pretty cool deal. So, Coach, for the folks that don't know a little bit about you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, this is home to me. I was a 91 graduate from here, went on to Southwestern, and then was graduated from there. And then Coach Rose happened to be coming over from Dell City, and, my dad, who coached for 35 years over at Eagle Land, I had known Coach Rose since I was a little kid, and he said, "Hey, do you want to come home?" And I was blessed enough to accept that. So I was, here for 9 years, and then I thought I needed to step away and, see something different. Went to Maud for 1 year, and then I went to Tecumseh for 7, and then Prague for 3. And then luckily enough, this position came back open, and I was blessed enough to get it, and I've been here for 6.
So, Coach, have you always coached girls basketball? Have you done boys? Or just just girls only?
I honestly had not. When I got this job, was my first job as being a head girls coach.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I had done softball for 9 years. I had also done, obviously, track, which, when you're doing track, you might be considered the head of one, but most of the time they combine everything and you work with both. So no, this was my first head girls job when I came back home.
Well, Coach, that's good stuff. My two guys I have on the show with me is R.T. Sherman And then Ethan Davis, and RT is a big Titan fan. If you didn't know, his son went to Carl Albert, graduated a couple years ago, went and played at Southwestern. Then he took the journey, went on to Oklahoma State, walked on to receive a scholarship. His youngest boy is at Carl Albert now as a junior. So we got a bit of Titan love over here, man. So even though I was a Bomber, we still give a little bit of love to him. And Ethan's a Yellow Jacket, so we don't discriminate on this show. We keep it 100. But Coach, I gotta say, man, you're the guy. You're the girls basketball coach. The boys has won a couple championship. They win in football, they win in baseball. Now it's your turn to win in basketball. So do you ever kind of feel a little bit of that pressure? Like, man, I gotta get on the board. But you guys are having a heck of a season. So tell us a little bit about the season. How's it going so far? What tournaments you guys have played in, and how have you guys done so far?
Sounds good. And of course, when you walk into this facility and you walk into the field house, just look on the wall.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of there's a lot of banners up there, and obviously we would like to add that collection. We really don't look at it as pressure. I mean, and I know softball, and like I said, swim, football, most everything over here does their job, and it's been a process. And we're turning the corner over here.
Yes,
I'm really, really proud of the girls of what the hard work and everything that they put in. It hadn't been easy, but it's paying off. We went to Duncan to start the year in our first tournament, and lucky enough to win that one. In fact, we've won that one 2 years in a row. We beat a really good sophomore team in the finals, and then we obviously played some games, and then went to Bartlesville. Made the finals of that one, lost to Broken Arrow. Definitely no slouch there. And then in our tournament here, another made it to the finals and fell a little short against a really good Edmond Memorial team. And so that's what I told the girls. It's been like we talk about the process here. Just try to go 2-1 and bring a trophy home. And then I said this year, let's see if we can make the finals all the time. We can bring home. Brought home a couple silver, but obviously, like I said, against some good competition, and we learned from that. It's back to the grind every day, win or loss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like you said, you lost to a couple of teams, and both teams you lost to are 6A teams, so those ain't no slouch teams. You're looking at Broken Arrow that has ton of kids, and you look at you guys' student body compared to their student body. You're looking, like you said, you lost to Broken Arrow and you lost to sophomore, 2 6A teams, not small 6A, big 6A. So that tells you what you're doing. And I got a chance to watch you guys play against Midwest City, and I tell you, man, I was really impressed where you girls, the ladies, shot the lights out, man. I mean, just you guys not as big, but you guys can shoot the lights out though, man. And if you can shoot, man, that's gonna, because you got to think about it. If you're hitting threes, they're hitting twos, you always gonna be ahead by 1 point on them. So I just tell you that, man, you guys can really flat out shoot the ball. If you can, tell us something about some of your players that you have on the team that stand out.
Well, it all starts with Asia Poole. She's been a 4-year starter. She reached the 1,000-point mark, earlier in the year. Obviously, quite an accomplishment. She just signed with Seminole State. So, selfishly, she's staying close, and I'm happy about that because I can go watch her. We have another senior, Mariah Taylor. Her brother Jason plays at Oklahoma State.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mariah's been a 4-year starter as well. What she does for us, and she has taken on the role, her and Asha Moore, of our interior defense. She wouldn't be an interior defender probably in anywhere else in 5A, just to be real honest with you. But she's like, Coach, if that's what it takes, if that's where you need me, that's where I'm going to go. And for her to get pounded on, obviously, like you said, we're a little bit undersized, but that doesn't take away from our heart and effort. And then we go to Ari Diaz, a guard, junior. She's a bulldog. That kid it doesn't matter who she faces day in and day out. And then Kennedy Kofer and Cameron Sutton, like you just mentioned, two of my shooters, that I would say, I think they become more than that, early on in their career. I think that one-dimensional, but they've worked on other aspects of their game.
Yes, sir.
To make them, hey, I mean, that's their main job, and they know it, and everybody who scouts us know it. I'm not giving out any scout reports that people don't already know.
Yes, sir.
But they started to put it down on the ground a little bit, and get to the rim, maybe get to the free throw line a little more. Celia Landon, we got a sophomore. She leads the team in minutes. One of my other, and when I pretty much say all of them are going to be guards, and she just picks people up full court. She can work downhill, everything like that. And then I go Asha Moore. She's a big time softball recruit. But what she does, she comes in off the bench, and last night against Shawnee, she goes, Coach, I got her. Hey, you don't need to send help. When you're so small and you have to do some things like that, sometimes it also can create backside boards and things like that. But those are my top 7 that I usually go with. Evie Mitchell, freshman, we've been kind of a little banged up, lost Kofor for a game against Del Reno, and the freshman came in and did a heck of a job. And I told her, I said, the game's not too big for you. And she comes in, hits a corner from the 3, and you could kind of see like, oh, yeah, I got this. So those are about usually my top 7 that usually go out there.
Well, Coach, I like to hear that you're playing younger girls because, as you know, you're going to lose some girls this year, but some of these girls have already got the experience of playing in a varsity game. It is some big games, so they're going to be ready. They're not going to be freshmen next year. They're not going to be used to like, oh my God, I'm in a big game. Their eyes are not going to be wide open. They've already been in the game, so I love to hear that a coach, because you get some coaches, hey, they're going to wait till your junior, senior year to play you, but it seems like you're letting these young ladies play at a young age, and man, and that excites me because I got a young one that might be coming your way soon. So, and I like to hear that, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, Mariah, like I said, Mariah and Asia as freshmen, and then Ari, Kennedy, and Cameron, they all got major minutes when Mariah and Asia were sophomores. That put those as girls as freshmen.
Yes, sir.
And then Asha and Celia last year, I mean, Celia's probably best game of the year was the game goes state tournament against Ardmore.
Okay.
And I think that game just catapulted her into this year like, man, I played in that game to go, and, we hadn't been there in 5 years. So, yeah, it was, like you said, it's big to know, hey, I can play at any time. Didn't have to be during games that maybe were already out of hand. This was win and go on or lose and go home. And so these girls have been through the fire.
So right now, are you guys ranked number 1 in 5A?
We are.
Okay. So who do you see like going into area? Because I know they got all 3 teams in the same. Are you guys all 3 in the same area?
We are all 3 mid-dels are in the West, and looking at these, we're 1-3. We're by the seedings. We're 1, Midwest City's 3, Del City's 5. So obviously, we got Del City senior night coming up on Friday. Obviously, going to be a big game, and then heck, you never know, could turn around and see them again in a couple weeks. And obviously, I think personally, this is the deepest the 5A has been, and I'm just going to go with the West. I'll worry about the East, if we get to the state tournament. But,
yes, sir.
You're looking at if we can get by Altus round 1, you're looking at Guyman, who has 12 wins, or Guthrie, who, trust me, that was a 5-point game in the 4th over at their place the other day. And so that's a 1 versus 8 or 9 matchup. And then, you just never know how you're going to play out on that other side. And the one thing that I will say that we do here, and that's where I understand that El Reno's really good.
Yes,
I mean,
sir,
they'd be considered the 2 seed. And people are forgetting about Lawton Mack. I'm not. People are the Piedmonts, the Duncans, who are the 6-7. Like I said, I just rattled off all 9 of those teams. And on any given night, I honestly think anybody you could say upset from a seed purposes, honestly, I don't know how big of one, it would really be. So that's why when it's going to be get by Altus and Guthrie or Guyman, and then whatever comes that following week in area is what we'll deal with because, when El Reno came to town the other day, it was 1 versus 2, and everybody knew it. There was 2 TV crews here. Everybody knew it, but it was the biggest game that we were playing because it was the game that we were playing right then.
Yes, sir.
And I know I was trying to tell the girls, they were like, all right, senior night, Del City. And I was like, well, we got Shawnee on Tuesday. And honestly, it ended up being a 13-point game, but it was sometimes scores can be deceiving, and Wendy Wells does a great job of Shawnee, and that game was a lot closer than 13. So that was kind of my point. Don't ever underestimate anybody, because you could be in the locker room thinking, man, how did that happen? And that's why it would happen.
So how did you guys match up against against El Reno? I know Jennifer Douglas, she does a good job. Me and you kind of talked about this the other day on the phone. She does a great job out there with the, El Reno ladies, man. And, each year you look up, man, she's in the state tournament or she's trying to play for the state championship. So how did you guys match up the other night against them?
It was a great matchup, and you're absolutely right. Jen does a great job. And this conference is – everybody's got everybody scouted so well, it's unbelievable. And so, like I said, Jen had us. I think we had them pretty well. And bottom line, when shots go in and we can do what we do, it ended up being pretty good. They had the size on us, which the girl, it's a running joke. We know, Coach, they're bigger. And that's pretty much what we say that every game. But it was a great matchup. It was like a dang track meet out there, and luckily we prevailed. And like I said, you just never know. It could easily gone the other way if a couple things don't go, a couple shots don't fall here and there, and things like that.
That's good stuff. I know Lenny Hatch is like one of your good friends, and he's the men's basketball coach.
Hey, wait, is this on air? Is this on air? I don't want to say that too loud.
But Coach, I like to say I know Lenny's one of your good friends, and he coaches the men's team over at Dell City. And is there any time you two pick each other's brain about like, hey, Coach, what should I do here? Because I know, and like I said, I'm gonna give it up to you. I gave it up to you the other day when we talked. I never beat you in junior high, man. You and Mark Hargrove. Colorado used to come over and Jarman beat us pretty bad, and so you talk about shooting. Your girls must get the shooting from you because you used to light us up over at Jarman. So I'm gonna give it up to you, Coach, because you can flat out shoot the ball back in our young days. So
it's the one thing I could do. I'm not gonna.
You can light it up.
Lenny and I, we talk daily. And like sometimes it's like, of course, he's seen us play before, and I've seen him play, and it's kind of like, hey, if you had this lineup and situation, how do you think you would attack this, or things like that? We pick each other's brain all the time.
That's good
all
stuff.
The time, and we've been doing that since, we both started in '96, and this is both of our 26th year. So we've been blessed to have that relationship as a friend and a coach that we can help each other out. So been very blessed with that. And you brought up by bringing him up, I also want to head coaches. Sometimes I think we get too much blame, and sometimes I think we get too much credit. But I want to give a shout out to my assistant coaches.
Yes, sir.
Robert Banks and Bo Bradshaw and Amari Wary and Carissa Price. I think I got, and a lot of people would say this, I think I got the best assistant coaching staff in the state of Oklahoma. What I know that I had to miss a few weeks ago for a funeral, and I didn't sweat it once. I knew exactly practice was going to be run right. Now, of course I call and see how it went? Yes, but there's probably some programs around here that might, what's going on? I don't have to worry about anything like that. So I obviously want to make sure that those four get the kudos that they deserve, because it's obviously earned.
That's good stuff, Coach. I mean, that's the thing about it, man. Everybody always talk about the head coach, but your staff is good as your assistant coaches, because they're the one to help you get the game prepared for. I always tell people all the time, back in the day when Bob Stoops and OU was winning, Bob Stoops, but it was also his assistant coaches. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Lenny will tell you the same thing with his staff, man. He prays on his staff. Anytime me and him have done a show, he talks about those guys. So I mean, and a lot of times, you get a lot of coaches, they might not mention their staff. It's all about me, but that's cool that you do that and give those guys a shot. I got two guys right here. I mean, they might have a couple questions for you. I got Mr. RT. You got anything for Coach?
Coach, you pretty much answered everything. I was going to ask you about your assistant coaches. Have you guys ever played like one-on-one, just, off the seriousness part of it, just joking? You, Bradshaw, Mari, Coach Banks, have any of y'all shot around, play pig, horse, anything like that?
Well, okay. A horse, I got a shot. Coach Banks is 6'11". And
yeah, he is pretty tall.
He's tall, and I don't even – and what cracks me up, he goes, Coach, and because I'll go, hey, Coach, you got the post day? And he goes, and, we'll switch it up. But a lot of people just assume, he goes, Coach, I really wasn't even a post. And I was like, huh? And then when he's talking to me, the girls here are like, what do you mean? And he goes, no, I played the perimeter. And so it just cracks me up that people just assume things like that. But he played some college. What I'm blessed, and Coach Bradshaw, he's been with me through the whole deal. I never get him till December because usually Carl Albert's playing for that gold ball and football as well. And so he comes in fresh, ready to go from that as well. And he does a great job with my freshmen. And now that obviously that year is over, he's now going with us to every game. And these two ladies that I got this year, Chris and Amari, they were seniors my very first year. And so what makes it even better is, one, they know me. Two, yeah, you change a little bit with the players you have in the system. But with, obviously, Carissa, she's up here all the time watching Dad. So she's got to see a lot of the games throughout the years of the girls playing. Oh, yeah, I've seen them for the last 3-4 years. So she kind of already knew a few of them, but for her to come in, for those two to come in, because you've heard, and I've got 3 people that are from around here. Once a Titan, always a Titan, and I know people can laugh at that, or CA, DNA. It really means something. They want to come back because it means something to them. And Amari and Chris have both tore their ACLs their senior year, and we didn't make it to state, which I really thought that was a state tournament team. But you lose 3 and another girl to 3 ACLs, it kind of derails you a little bit. No excuses, but that's just facts. But so them coming back, and they ended up both playing college basketball. And when they go, hey girls, if some of y'all want to move on to that next level, you think Coach Richey's kind of being mad or mean right now? Like, no, you need to understand that he's trying to get you ready if this is what you really want to do, and so forth and so on. And one other one I want to give out, she's not an assistant coach, but to me she is. Amy Cox runs our weightlifting program. Okay. And when I came here 6 years ago, if you wanted to play basketball, you take weights. And I think that has been a huge deal for us here. And obviously that's just my opinion. And so I also kind of wanted to give her, because they do weightlifting 6 hour, and then they can come straight to practice. And so we don't have to do that and then go to the weight room. So obviously I also want to give her some kudos, and she played college ball at OC. And so she knows what I want that might be different than football or some other sports, what I want from the basketball girls. So,
you have any questions for them?
Yeah, just talking about your upcoming schedule, like you said, you have Dell City Friday night on their senior night, and then and then you got Altus first round of regionals, and then so just talk about what y'all are doing to get ready for the stretch going into regionals, and then hopefully beyond.
It's a catch-22. We came in today, and Shawnee was a pretty physical game. We were pretty battered and bruised. And so today was a light day. And you want to keep them in shape, but also as small as we need legs on game day. And it's that, dude, how hard do you work them to make sure we're ready for game day? And I just sat down with my staff and I said, hey, we still got our conditioning in, but we really didn't do a lot of 5-on-5 today. And we'll watch film on Dell City tomorrow, go over what they do. We'll inter squad a little bit, and then be ready to go. And then, like you said, be ready for Altus on that following Thursday. We'll have film. We already have film on them. I'm not going to lie, we haven't watched it yet. We're getting ready for there, and then that's what I'll do this weekend, and then we will have a game plan as a staff to how to attack them. And it like you said, it's just that fine line of want to stay in shape, which I think we are because we put them through pretty rigorous, but not to overwork them so on game day that they're just absolutely shot.
That's good stuff. So, like, Coach, like I said, I know like I said, you're getting ready for, like, Dell City this Friday night, you know, and you're in the season out, and you couldn't ask for a better game to end the season out. Like I said, I got a chance to watch that Midwest City Carl Albert game, and that was a great crowd. I'm telling you, it was like a college atmosphere. Have a lot of your games been like this since you guys are number one, and you do got a lot of people coming and checking out the Titans?
Yeah, we really do. We really do. It's definitely picked up. And like you just said, Dell City, I mean, what more do you want? You got 1 versus 5 on the girls' side, and gee, I think it's 1 versus 2 on the boys' side.
Wait, the ticket's gonna be hot this weekend. Friday night.
Well, you got that right, and you got senior night. Woo. So then you'll have a lot of people coming back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then you'll have grandma, grandpa, aunt, and uncle coming in from everywhere there as well. I think this place will be wall to wall on Friday night.
Yeah, you better get there early. We let everybody know. Get there early to check out the ladies. Will y'all kick off at tip off at 6:30?
We're at 6. And
at
the
6
boys
o'clock?
are at 7:30.
Okay. So we'll let everybody know. Make sure you get there early because, like I said, get your popcorn and get your Diet Coke. I got to do Diet Coke because I'm diabetic, but just keeping it 100. But, Coach, man, like I said, man, I am thrilled. Like, I know you're thrilled in what you've done, you know, the last few years. And like I said, you know, right now being ranked number 1 in 5A and got a chance to play for that gold ball. And I really think you guys got a really good shot. I know you got some tough teams. I know Midwest City be standing there waiting. Like I said, you got Dell City. And like I said, you got, you know, Jennifer Douglas and, you know, the El Reno ladies, man. I mean, like I said, and like I said, if you have a bad shooting night, anybody can win. And that's what you're trying to say. Hey, you got to come out and play no matter what side, how big you are, how tall you are, but you got to come out and hit your shots, you know, hit your free throws, play good defense. And I think that's something that you have installed with these Lady Tights because like you said the most important thing, the process. It don't happen overnight. It's taking you some time, but right now, I mean, you got your young class that's coming up. That 8th grade class is good. That 7th grade class is good. That 6th grade class, you know, and you got more young ladies coming up in your program. So Carl Albert's not going to fall off in girls basketball. It's going to be something to reckon with the next 5 to 10 years. So I think you'll get a couple more gold balls, you know, fixing to get in the banner and hang your you know, your little banner up too. So and putting the gold ball in the trophy case next to those football coach. One thing that you said earlier, and I tell this all the time to people, even though my daughter graduated from Carl Albert, but you know, my boys didn't, but I tell people all the time what Carl Albert does the best, and you said it on the show, they bring back their alumni to the games. And that's big time, you know, because a lot of times you see these kids, and Carl Albert don't have a lot of kids move out. You guys do a good job keeping your kids. They're not bouncing and running down the street to the next school to get the next best thing because you guys are the best thing, you know. And I'm not taking nothing from my Bombers because I'm a Bomber, but just watching what you guys do over there and having RT and he talks about the Carl Albert, you know, DNA and then, you know, the family that you guys have and Miss Goggins, what she's done with the program and, you know, adding Mike Dunn, you know, another alumni, a guy that played there and graduated from there. Now him being the athletic director, you know, and it's what you guys have done over there at Carl Albert is great because, you know, no one wants to leave that school. You know, I mean, you guys got a good football team, the boys basketball team, the swim team, now girls basketball, in the track, in baseball, in softball. You can talk about every sport. And, hey, you got to give it up to Coach Hodges. You know, what he's done with the Carl Albert wrestling this year, you know.
Wrestling.
Yes, you know, it's unbelievable though, man. They haven't been to the dual state since 2009. And so everything is rocking and rolling over there and it's a family. You guys are a family though. So I appreciate,
you know, and that's what you said. Cause if you look up and I'll look around after a game and I'm walking through, you see football, you see if they can, there's coaching staffs here watching your sport. Yes, and if you go to football games, you see basketball coach, you know, you see whatever other sports, you see the teachers, and you brought up Miss Goggins and Coach Dunn and our administration team, top notch.
Yes,
top
sir.
notch. And so, and because you can't do it all, and obviously the classroom teachers, they know, hey, call Coach Richey if there's anything I need to know about anything of my girls. And usually I've been blessed. Hey, these girls have a 3.60 GPA, and that's why we're called student athletes. And so I want to make sure I get that out as well. A 3.60 varsity team average, and I turned that academic achievement award in the other day, so they'll get a little certificate for that. And I'm so proud of that I really don't have to sweat the ineligible list.
Yes, sir. That's it. You're right about that. That's 100. Keep it at 100, Coach. I like that. That's big time. Well, Coach, we're going to let you know. I know you got to get ready for the game, this Friday night. And like I said, and we appreciate you coming on the show, man. I was tickled when Hawk gave me a call and says you would love to join the show, man. And, reaching out to you and you're doing it on a short notice, man. That just makes me feel good because all we're doing here is trying to get kids pub, talk to local high school coaches from every sport and talk sports because sometimes people might not know about, Carl Albert girls basketball, but now they're starting to get to know about them and having you on and like I said, being an alumni and doing what you're doing over there this year and the next years to come, it's going to be exciting for, like I said, Mr. Don and, Principal Goggins. So I appreciate you coming on. And like I said,
thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, everybody on there, I appreciate y'all today.
All right, Coach. Well,
thank you, Coach.
Good luck to you Friday night. And I'll see you Friday night. Thank you, sir.
Hey, sounds good. Talk to y'all.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, folks, that's Coach Richey with the Carl Albert, Lady Titans, man. And like I said, he's sitting number 1, got 2 losses this year to both 6A teams. I'm going to put that out because they're 6A. It's a little bit big difference. I know people might not think it is in basketball, but when you got 60-some girls you can choose for and he only got 25 or 30 girls to choose from, it makes a big difference. And he's told you, hey, we're not very big, but we're going to come out and shoot the ball.
Right.
Because he was a shooter back in his young day. I'm going to give it up to him.
Yeah.
I never beat him.
Yeah.
But nowadays I might be able to post him up. I'm a little bit thicker, so I might be able to get with him a little bit. No, I'm lying, folks. I can't even get off the ground. But, hey, folks, that's what I like about this show. We can bring people from all over and talk. It ain't just about River City. It ain't about Dale City. It ain't about hair. We bring everybody. Me and him has known each other. We see each other. We say hi. But to bring him on this show, man, he's the number 1 team in the state.
Number 1 team.
Number 1 team in the state. He could have blew me off. But he gave us a little bit of love.
Right.
And I like that because you know what? We just do nothing but do what?
Keep it 100.
We'll be right back after what?
After one of these sponsors.
Right back. Keep it at 100. Oklahoma High School Sports. Hey, I got to show about my red sweats, too. They got 100 on it, baby.
He trying to be a Titan now, y'all.
Hey, ain't no Titan, baby. Ain't no Titan. I could be. My baby girl might be a Titan for a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Back,
for a little bit?
Uh-oh. We'll be right back.
With 25 years experience in the industry, Linex Customs Okc is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle accessory needs. Specializing in spray-in liners, lifts, levels, wheels, tires, bed covers, and anything else you need to make your ride look and sound better. Call Eric and the boys at 405-778-8878.
Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. We just got off the phone with Coach Rich. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of wrestling. Last week was dual state. Some teams went on and won it, and some teams went home sad and blue. But that's okay because you got regionals coming up this week, and as an individual, and I got a chance to go win a state championship. You got to qualify, and I love the program, how they're doing it now in wrestling because you can be the number 5 and wrestle in and win it and win the tournament. I've seen it happen. Yep. Tata had a couple years ago with Speedy. He came as a number 5 seed, beat the number 4 seed, and made it all the way to the championship and wrestled the number 1 seed and lost to him in a tight match. But, last week, like I said, it was dual state. Yep. They had it up in Enid. It used to be over at Fire Lake, but now it's in Enid. But the way it's set up, it's pretty cool because you're right there on the floor to get into it. One thing they've done, get a job. They're still kind of dividing it up because of COVID. But, I think it's easier that way. But, we're going to talk about some of the winners. We're going to start off in 6A. Stillwater over Bigsby, winning their second dual state championship. However, collectively, the dual state individuals, teams, points. They Stillwater's the team to beat, man. They got everybody, moved in. That's what they do in Stillwater. They move them in. But hey, when you got a Division I program and your big brother's wrestling for Oklahoma State, little brother might move in, mom and dad might move in to be closer to their kid. But it just tells you what Stillwater over Bigsby, knocking off Edmond North, getting knocked off by Bigsby. RT did call me and say, hey man, it's gonna happen. I said, nah, North got all those kids coming back. Last year he took 10 kids 10 freshmen, to the state championship. Came up short. I figured they'd be the team this year. But, hey, you get banged up and kids are not, performing like they should. Wrestling's a sport. You got to go out and wrestle, man. If you don't go out and wrestle every match, guess what? You can be on your back. You can be winning. I've seen it. I've seen it in my own house. You can be winning, and guess what? You make one bad move, beep, beep. You count the lights. But, winning 5A was the Collinville team that knocked off Carl Albert. Congratulations to Carl Albert getting there. But Collinville is just too strong. When you got 8 returning starters from the state championship team, 8 guys that placed in state?
No, 8 guys that won.
One state. I'm sorry. They won state. They took home that number one, that big trophy right there. As you can see, we got the wrestling.
And they all here.
They're all coming back. So, it's going to be tough for somebody. That's but wild, I got to give a little shout out to Guthrie, though. Guthrie has not always been a big wrestling school, has some individuals, but that just shows you what Guthrie's at. And I think Coach Hodges and the Titans will be back next year, and they have a chance to win dual state and maybe even try to win a state championship, because I think Carl Albert girls will play for the state championship. I think they will, because I think he's doing a good job, and I think Carl Albert's boys will have a good chance next year to compete for a state championship and even compete for dual state. So it just tells you where they're at. Dropping down to 4A, you already know who it is, man. The Tuttle Tigers. All they do is win,
they
baby.
Won 13th in a row.
13 in a row, man.
Dual
they lose their coach. Serber, he steps down and becomes a principal, and guess what? They didn't miss a beat, and he still probably sneaks his head and peeks his head in the wrestling room, even though he's a principal, and said, hey, you got to get that takedown, that's what he does. His boys up at Oklahoma State Wrestling Heavyweight, so, the wrestling blood at Tuttle just goes strong and stronger. If you want to be a wrestler, most people move to Tuttle for wrestling, but, Tuttle is good in other sports. The girls' basketball is good, too.
Yeah.
The football team, they play for state championships, so it just tells you where Tuttle's at, though, and, dropping down to 3A, you had Marlowe over Jay.
Yep.
Shout out to Chase Youngblood. He's from Jay. Jay's a good team. And the funny thing is, you might see these teams win dual state, but they might not win state as a team, because state is, when you wrestle in dual state is, you might match up with a kid, but you wrestle an individual, you might have kids that's better at weights is better, and your teams might be better, but there might be guys better individual, because, that's the way it works. So you might see some of these teams that win dual state. Tuttle probably will win state in wrestling.
Sometimes they bump some kids up, bump them down to make sure that the team has a good balance to win that dual state. Then when you get back to the individual side, they let them wrestle at the weight they're most comfortable at or most success at.
Yeah. So congratulations to Marlowe and all the teams that won dual state. So it just tells you, last week, like I said, it was all up in Enid. This week, it starts regionals, and regionals are where
it depends. Let me see. 6A, I want to say that it's 6A East is Stillwater. 6A West is Southmore. 5A East is Claremore. 5A West is Duncan. 4A East is Cushing. 4A West is Clinton. 3A East is Jay. 3A West is Plainview.
So that's all your different locations. So get out and cheer for your individual wrestling, your team, and wish them all good luck, man. They got to make weight. They got to try to make sure they don't get COVID, because if you get COVID, it's over, because you got to sit out your 5 to 10 days, whatever it is now, and you won't get that chance, because you'll wrestle regionals, and next week will be state at the Big House.
Yep.
Everybody know where the Big House is. It's right there on Reno. Fairgrounds, baby, one of the funnest places to go. RT said he is so excited about state, because you get your what?
Man, those smoothies and chicken on a stick.
Smoothies and chicken on a stick. So his boy better make it to state, because he's already got talking about that smoothie and chicken on a stick. Well, folks, I just tell you right now, wrestling season, I know Choctaw has not been like they have been. They're kind of down. I know they got beat first round against Edmond North. So I know Coach Coleman's probably there kicking and screaming, because for the last few years he's been a state championship or a regional champion and a dual state champion. So I figured they would do a little bit better. They have some guys coming back that's been starters for a while, but I guess they just haven't put it together yet. So good luck to all those guys over in regionals, and hopefully they can pull something out and maybe get something going. But it's going to be tough when you got a Bigsby, you got a Stillwater, you got a Edmond North, and then you got a Broken Arrow still sitting right there. So I think Stillwater will win it. I think Edmond North will probably finish second. And you look at Bigsby. I think Bigsby will be the team next year. He still got some young guy. Brock Moore does a good job with those guys over there. I think Stillwater will lose some kids, but you never know, man. With this new open transfer coming in, man, kids moving in left and right. So good luck to all those teams. and we're going to get into basketball, what E likes to talk about, and we're going to go straight into basketball right now.
Yeah, so I got the regional brackets pulled up right now. They're set at
Is that area? You mean area?
No, it's
regional.
First.
It's regional first and then
okay,
area.
Okay. Hey, I'm glad y'all educated me on that. Keep it 100.
So we got the 6A Boys East brackets. I mean, there's a lot of games going on here, so I'm just going to highlight just some of the few that are going to be pretty good matchups here as I look. Let's see. Broken Arrow versus Bigsby. You know, they're not too far away from each other. Could consider them rivals, kind of. But, that game will be at Owasso, so that'll be a pretty good game. And then, let's see, Edmond Santa Fe at Northwest Classen. I think that'll also be a pretty good game. And then moving on to the west side, all the Putnam City schools, they're usually pretty good. They're usually a lot of fun to watch, especially West. Putnam City West has been pretty good for the past couple years. So
who's the teams on this side? Like your Choctaw, your those. Well, I mean, who does Choctaw have first round?
Choctaw has Westmore first round.
Choctaw has Westmore. I will say I got a chance to go watch Choctaw play last Friday night. Me and Zoe snuck over and watched them play Midwest City. My school, my Black and Gold, Choctaw girls are the real deal. Coach, I think it's Malloy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Coach Maloney.
Is doing a great job. He got some players. I would have said we had a young lady on our show, Kylie Hunt. I mean, she's the real deal, folks. I'm not saying it just to say it, man. She's not very tall. She might be 5'3", 5'4", maybe pushing 5'5" with some heels on, but she can go. Her and Raven Jackson, both are really, really good. They got a post player, number 32. I think she's just a junior, and I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be after that young lady. Maybe small Division 1 to every Division 2 will probably come get her. I know Kylie has got some looks. I know Murray State's really, really want her. I know it's so funny. Murray State tweeted called Rocky Mayberry the other day about her. Found out that she's kind of related to me. Reached out to me, started following me on Twitter. Good for me because it helps my baby girl too. So, but no, the coach is really, really on her. And I called Lamonte and kind of told him, I think if Kylie can keep doing what she's doing, she might pick up a small D1, some big time D2s. She really can go. She don't shoot a lot, but I'll tell you what she does. She controls the game. She don't turn the ball over. She's a good dribbler, good left hand, good right hand. Raven Jackson's I think she's just a junior. RJ's little sister, twin sister, I would say. She can flat out shoot the ball. She shot the ball deep.
Yeah.
Mississippi had to lead the first quarter. And then the Lady Jackets just took off and started stinging them and putting them out and ended up beating them by 20. So, I don't know if they're 20 points better than Midwest City, but that night they was. But, even Midwest City's boys, I mean, everybody talking about the one kid, is it Valentine? Is that his name? The basketball player for Choctaw?
Jamon Valentine.
Jamon Valentine. I got a chance to watch him first time live. I thought he's pretty smooth. He kind of reminds me of God, I had it on my mind the other day. I was telling somebody, Trey Young, kind of has this kind of deal, he takes, he takes to the hole. But the kid that stood out to me a lot, and I'm not saying it because his little partial family is Cameron Hunt. The first time I watched him, I thought he was okay, but I thought watching him Friday night against Midwest City, I thought the kid was good. And Midwest City had the big lead. They got the Jacoby kid we'll have on Seabach. We'll have him on in a few weeks. I know he just did a story about himself not being able to sweat. Shout out to that young man, what he's done. Not being able to sweat and play sports. He started my little organization, the Bombers. Was a football player, and he fought through it. Now he's received a scholarship. Like I said, we'll have him on in a couple of weeks, and he'll talk about that. I know Cameron George has already done it, but we're gonna go live. Bring him in the house is what we do over here at Keep It 100. But I want to say, both teams, every team on this side of the state, from boys basketball, from Midwest City, Dale City, Carl Albert, Choctaw, any of those teams can go win state. Carl Albert boys might have to do a little bit of battling to get there, but Dale City, Midwest City, Carl Albert. I think all three of any of those teams could go win state, and the boys, girls is the same way. I think Dale City girls are pretty good. You'll find out how good they are come Friday night against Carl Albert. But I just tell you right now that And I said this, a couple of weeks ago, Andy Collier has to be tickled what he has in his Middale program schools and what they're doing and winning. All three of those teams could make it to the state championship and have a chance of one of them can play, and they can play each other, girls and boys. So it just tells you what Middale is doing. Everybody talk about PC schools, but hey, you can't count the Middale schools out too. And like I said, even Choctaw boys and girls, but I think Choctaw girls will go far. I don't know how tough their schedule is for them to go win state because, if you look at it, I don't know what big teams they played. I know they've played the team out of, I think Kansas in the Moore tournament and winning that. But that team was okay. But they haven't played a Edmond North, and we kind of talked about that Edmond North game. Tomorrow night, weather permitting, right. Playing against one of the better teams in West Class, and a team that's ranked nationally. So that just tells you what Oklahoma basketball is about, man. And me going up and down the highway, I get to see some of these other teams. In Texas, Dallas area, and then in the Kansas area. But to cut E off, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to get a bit of love to some of these kids around here that's doing their thing in the Middale area, man. Like I said, I'm excited to see what Coach Rich does. Good luck to him the rest of the season. What we got, Big E? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then another thing to point out is, Choctaw girls go down and they play Putnam City North again this Friday, and then you look back just a few weeks ago.
Knocked them off.
Yeah, Putnam City North was the only team to beat them this year, so they'll be looking to get revenge this week.
Guess what, E?
What's that?
Callie got to go back home. Going back to Cali.
Yeah, she's got to go back to her old stopping ground.
I don't think so. That's what PC said. I don't think so. Hey, they knocked them off a couple weeks ago, man, and you're going back home. I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be senior night. That them fans are going to be rocking and rolling. Her and her brother both go. They left, PC North and joined the Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets is the only team. PC North is the only team that's knocked off the Choctaw girls this year. They hit a three. The young lady that took her spot as just a freshman, and that just tells you the PC schools are freshmen. Knocked them off, man. But I just tell you, man, Choctaw's going to go for revenge. But, hey, it's going to be tough to go play them in their house and beat them. But, can Choctaw do it, man? They can. They're a salty little team, man, just watching him. Coach is real quiet, real laid back. But, what he's doing and adding that extra puzzle, adding her to the team, I think she is the go-getter. I'm telling you right now, if the girl is, I would say 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", she has every school on her. That's just how good she is, man. And just watching her be a floor general, just always has a smile. She talks about having that, that mean look. Nah, she ain't got it.
She can never give it to us.
She can't give it. She's just, hey, she's a puzzle. Really humble young lady, man. Lamonte has done a great job with her and raising her. And so, kudos to him and what he's done with his baby girl. Back in the day, I said, that was a hell of a move you made. Bad decision, but I think it's a hell of a great decision because I'm telling you, she's going to help that team get over the hump.
Yeah. And then, that's pretty much it that I got, just out of those matchups. And then, we can look at 5A real quick, 5A boys. Let's see who Carl Albert has first round of there. The boys, they play Altus as well?
I believe both of them do.
Okay.
And you said the regional's going to be at
Carl
Albert.
At Carl Albert, yeah.
Hey, that's good. And what night should they start them? Is that
Thursday is the girls and the boys is Friday.
Hey, folks, that's great basketball. You'll catch me at those games, man. It's so fun to go watch those games and to listen to my daughter coach and cheer and scream. She cracks me up. She's like, like, girl, and
she's young, but she's very smart and intelligent, man. And not to cut you off, Tony, but speaking about those who are up next, that class of 2025
man,
is
it's real
on
deal.
Fire.
Ada
on
girl.
Fire. Richardson from Ada.
She's a real deal, folks.
Real deal. And just to name a few more, Lofton of Bethany, Parks at Norman, Williams at Stillwater, Skylar over there at Classen, Markayla over there at Booker T. Washington. A lot of these girls started at a young age like Zoe. I believe they played for BTR.
Because Jesse.
Those girls can really go, and I'm probably missing quite a few more, but I think it's time for us to start keeping our eye on that class of 2025.
And you can't knock, I know Eric Gooden moved away to Arkansas, but his daughter is over there balling out of control. Both twins. I think one of them's a starter. The other one might be 6th or 7th man, but, his one baby girl, Ariana, is balling, running the point guard for the team that won state last year, and she fit right in like a glove. So great job to her. I know it's probably tough for Eric to move, but sometimes a move is a good move, and especially everything happens for a reason. Kylie moves in, he moves to Arkansas, and guess what? His baby ain't playing behind nobody. And I love when coaches can play a freshman, because me as a father, I would love for my kids to play as a freshman. If they don't, they got to wait their turn. I understand that, but I love what Coach Richey's. I don't think he's all sometimes coaches get caught up in politics, and I'm keeping it 100 because that's why I have this show, that they get caught up in politics and who has the most money and whose kid's gonna play. I don't see that in him. I see him as being, hey, if you can play, let's go. He said he plays 7 to 8 girls, and that's what you want to be at, man. I know sometimes people want to get their kid in and think because I donated money and I bought a scoreboard or this and that they baby should play. If your kid can't play, man, go do. Hey, my kid ain't the greatest. That's why we still go see a shooting coach. That's why we still go see Coach Collier, and Clutch Coacher and training, because there's things that she has to get better on. We shot today, and guess what? Coach Allison was on her. Hey, step into it, and because you might hit a shot, but you might not be doing it right. And I can tell you though, man, and I tell people all the time, going to a trainer and getting your kid coached up by somebody else is not a bad gig, because they're not going to listen to you. They're going to listen to that person because that person's telling them the right thing. So
it's no different than going to get additional tutoring.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You right. What you got, Big E? Because I know.
That's all really I have. We just have the state tournaments coming up. Yep. Regionals for both basketball and wrestling individually. But it should be an exciting next few weeks, seeing how all those tournaments play out and who comes out on top for sure.
Well, like I said, you got some big games. Good shout out to to Coach Jenny Holbrook over at Jones, knocking off the number 1 team, and in their class, knocking off Lincoln Christian, beating them the other night. And she's looking for her state championship, team. She's played in, and one thing about Coach Jenny, she's played in some 6A tournaments. Here she is a 2A, 3A team, and playing in the bigger team bracket. She played in a big tournament out in Mustang. She played Mustang. She got beat up, but guess what? It gets those girls better. Losing is not a bad thing, folks. Sometimes losing makes you better, because if you're so good and you haven't lost, and Coach Jones will tell you from Dell City, he'll tell you all the time, I wish we'd have lost the game before we went into the playoffs, because now you're hungry again. If you win, and you haven't lost, guess what? You're walking on eggs still because you're so scared. But if you lost, you're like, man, we've been beat. We ain't got to worry about it. Let's go out and do our thing. And sometimes kids get caught up and get so much pressure on themselves, because if your jump shot's not falling and you ain't got a good post game, guess what? You could be out of the tournament real quick. And like Coach said, even though I'm playing out this first round, it ain't guaranteed nothing. You got to take every game, and basketball is like that. It's like the 64 tournament. That's why everybody takes off in March, because they want to sit around and watch those games. The Thursday night and Friday are the best 2 days, because you have upsets, because everybody's walking on eggshells and they're so scared to get beat. And that's why some of these lower schools that you might not know about end up making it there, because guess what? They ain't got nothing to lose. We're the underdog. We got to go, hey, it's like your boy this weekend in wrestling. He ain't got nothing to lose.
Nope.
Hey, go out there and do your bit. The kid's been out for 2 years, and he's had a heck of a season. Along with his teammates at Carl Albert. So, like I said, man, we're going to talk real quick. We'll be dropping a little commercial about the scholarship. Folks, you got 2 weeks left. Before we pick our first winner of the Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. We've had some guys is turned it in, and some females.
Yep.
And I tell you, man, and I was talking to a guy today, folks, man, we're not going to be checking your grammar. I'm not an English teacher. I'm probably one of the worst spellers on this show. But you know what? Just write something about yourself. Don't be scared, man. We're not going to judge you because you spelled something wrong, or you might have had, man, it's not about that. We want to see who type of person you are. So, man, just go out there and put in for it, because, like you said, RT put something out the other day on Twitter. It pays for your what? What'd you have? It
parking
pays for your parking.
Books, laptop.
Yeah.
Several months of rent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be that one scared to go do it, man. I hear a lot of people say, man, we're going to do it. But, I talked to a guy today at Midway City, and he said, man, I did the same thing, for somebody to be one of my assistants, and I had him write like a little, and he said, man, a lot of the kids couldn't get it right. And I think kids are so scared that, they're going to judge me if I spell something wrong. Man, I spell something wrong every day. I tell you, I have my wife spell, when I do my meetings and stuff like that, I'm keeping it 100. She's my spell check, because I didn't win a spelling bee. And that's just being real. But hey, we're not judging off that. We're asking you to put in your scholarship, subscribe to our show, subscribe to our Twitter, and guess what? Be part of Keeping It 100 family, because we're going to get
There
back
you
to
go.
you. We're asking you to be part of our family because
Yep.
we're going to bring you on the show. We're going to bring your coach on the show. That's like we ask every coach. Talk about some of your players, because I guarantee some of these other people are not asking about you. We want to know who you are and what you're doing. And good luck to everybody this weekend in regional, going into regional basketball area. Good luck to Coach Mayfield out there in Calumet. I know he takes his journey trying to win another state championship for the Calumet Chief and the boys team. So good luck to them. Any closing thoughts, guys, before we get out of here?
Man, yeah, just with that scholarship, you have a couple weeks left. The last day to apply for that will be February 28th.
28.
Last day of the month. So, in that essay, just talk about, what you've done in your time in high school, athletically, academically, talk about your academic accolades and stuff like that. And then give us a little brief summary of what you are planning to do after you get out of high school. What is this? How is this scholarship going to help you? Are you going to go to trade school? You going to go to, a 4-year university, 2-year, whatever? Let us know, and, let us get to know you a little bit. And then, that's pretty much all I got. But, RT, you got anything?
You summed it up.
Well, folks, like I said, we thank you for watching the great episode of Keeping It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. It's good to get with my two guys, RT
Always.
and Big E. I mean, they're like my
sir.
family, man. I'm just telling you, man, we are family. And like I said, we just want to get back. So, like I said, please don't miss out on the scholarship. And we'll catch you next time on what?
Keeping It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports.
See ya.